Good evening, everyone. Today we are discussing how to structure a new story. Speaking of structuring a new story, it is very important to concentrate on how to insert the most important points and the least important points in a new story. For that, you need to have a rough draft of what you're going to write first of all. Only later, in the later stages, you can put it into a fair draft, then proofread it. Only then you can insert it into your fair new story. When structuring a new story, it is very essential to use the inverted pyramid formula. So, what is this inverted pyramid formula, which is used both in the print medium and also in the broadcast medium or the blogging, platform? In an inverted pyramid, the most essential information has to be on the top broader area where you have to focus. That is the beginning of the new story. That is where you put the lead inside the new story. You have to concentrate on all the 5W and 1H into that part of the new story where you begin with. And if it is going to be a feature article, might be you can push it a little bit to the middle, but still the reader won't be more attracted towards the new story if you don't detail the reader about what is going to happen inside the new story, unless it is positioned right in the beginning of the new story. So the lead has to be the most essential priority of any given news story. So it has to be placed right on the top, and most of the essential information should be inside the lead. And further, when you differentiate the lead from the body of the news story, the body can have the very focal point of a news story, because what has actually happened and what you actually want to tell the reader, that essential information, that one point has to be focused in the body of the news story. And you can even add some background details and attributions in the body, or you can even add attributions or background details wherever necessary, wherever it is comfortable for your news story to be more effective. The more you design, you become creative with your news story, the more effective your news story would be. You cannot go by the book. You cannot think whether this is a print medium or a broadcast medium or an online platform medium. You cannot think that you should go by the book or the rules, and just because you're using an inverted pyramid, you cannot just spoil the story by just placing the rules everywhere. You have to be more creative, effective, visualize things before you write down, and position it in such a way that it grabs the attention of the reader, allures the reader, and pulls the reader to read the whole story. And the tail part, that is the tiny ending part of a pyramid, is the most inessential part of the news story, where you put down all the not important points, but still it adds it adds complement to the news story, which may be some dates about the future, where the news story can be followed up, or some details which might be followed up, or some areas which can be followed up. All these tiny extra informations can be added to the tail of the news story. So let's see step by step how to format our news story, especially as per one of our participants' request. Today's post has been formatted in such a way that it is being differentiated from the print medium. That is, the online platform is totally differentiated from the print medium, and also some analysis has been produced in a different video, which I'll share with you later. So coming to the format of a lead, you should fill up the lead with the importance of immediacy. So what is immediacy? Something which happens, what happens, who has done that. So how far, very easily and very fast it reaches the reader. That is very important if you are writing a news story, especially the news blogs or news papers. The immediacy is the most essential point. How fast you inform the reader about what and when it has happened, where it has happened, who has done that. The immediacy, the most fast reporter will be the most successful reporter. Whereas in the print medium, the immediacy could be taking some time, because the newspaper takes time to reach you. If something has happened today evening or tonight, the news might reach you tomorrow morning. So you can wait for the news, so you have no problem with it. But as a blogger, if you don't report it every single second and every single minute inside your blog post, if you don't update your blog, your reader might get definitely upset. Then comes the impact factor, which you have to definitely add to your lead, because if you don't make an impact, if you don't use words or vocabulary in such a way that the reader gets attached to your news story, make it so effective and emotionally attached to the reader, otherwise the reader might not continue to read your story. So the immediacy, impact, and even the proximity, the nearness from where the, if I am 20 years old, and if I read a news article above 40, it's not at all logical. I am going to definitely read about articles which deal with people of below than 30 years, so 30 years of age. So that is very important. So the immediacy, the proximity, the logical sense behind writing lead, and the impact it leaves on your reader, that is very important. Speaking about the body of the news story, it is very essential to make it impactful in such a way that you design it, whether it has to be conversational, whether it has to be narrative, whether it has to be personal. It depends on the writer. See, for example, if you are starting your print medium news story with a lead that is a conversation or an interview, you can add a few exchanges which leave some intriguing impact, that is an inquisitive impact on your reader. You can drag your reader about what the news story is going to be about, because the design itself, the way you have started the news story, will definitely create a weird kind of attraction on the reader. And the change of voice, you have to concentrate very well on the change of voice. If you are going to write a hard news story, that is a news story which gives you the direct information, the summary of 5W and 1H immediately as you start the news story, then you have to definitely use the active voice. But when you are writing for an online platform, you should definitely use the passive voice, because you have to be more descriptive. The subject matter or the subject, the person is least important. The situation becomes more important. The way you describe the situation, the more you become elaborate, is really essential for blogging or any online platform. When you write for a blog, you have to be very much close to the reader's heart. Your audience must be very personal for you. It's like one to one interacting with your audience. It's not going to be a mass, because when you write a blog, the reader feels too personal about whatever the words or sentences you have used. You must kind of converse with the reader, converse with your audience. So the reader should feel very attached to your blog, because he or she should relate with something personal with your blog. The color, the words you use, or the phrases you use, the exclamations, or the happiness you give, or the cheer, or the moods that you kind of enhance or highlight in your through your blog, it is going to definitely have an impact on the reader. So coming to the visual part of any body of the news story, you could insert some lists inside news story, if it is going to be a print medium, to to explain, or to verify, or to argue, or to attribute to some facts which has been derived from. For example, if you are going to speak about budgets or elections, you need to insert those lists. You can make it also effective visuals. The colors you give in a print medium may attract your reader. And also in a blogging, the lists could, as we have seen in the earlier post, lists are really essential. If it is going to be a hard news story, that is a direct news story, instead of being a creative or the anecdotal story, definitely visuals are going to be very effective. Listing is going to be very effective for a hard news story, be it a print medium or an online medium. So using interaction, the question and answer pattern, in the kind of interviews as a whole news story, if it is really with a very 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 important person, definitely the reader is going to be attracted, be it Dhoni or Rajnikant or Amitabh Bachchan. Definitely the reader is going to be interested, otherwise the question and answer pattern will be useless. Or sometimes to validate about a VIP's quotations, you cannot directly say that that person has said such thing and nobody is going to believe you. So who says and who said, it is very very important. So you have to jot that exact sentences, the questions you asked and the answer being given by the VIP has to be jotted, so that you approve your validation. Also the interactions that follows any news story in your, especially in your websites and your blogs and your online platforms, the interactions play that portion of your news story, it is very important for you to follow with the sequels of your news story. If at all you're writing an open editorial page in a print medium, you cannot be narrative or personal in any given body of the news story, because the more you are personal, the reader will reject you. If you come to the online medium, definitely you have to be more narrative, more personal, more more touching for the reader, so that you have a potential impact on the reader, because the reader has a lot many choices to make on the websites. So if they have to prefer to read your blog or your online pages, definitely you have to be very effective through your narration. When comes the ending part of a news story, especially when using attributions or quotes or any details, you have to be very focused on direct quotations when using a print medium, or indirect passive voice when using an online medium. The more you use present tense in a blog and the more you use past tense in your print medium is very very important. It's going to be effective. And we come to the end of session today, and we have a second part to the structuring of a news story unit, because I'm thinking of comparing and contrasting news articles section by section, so that you understand the concept better. So let's meet tomorrow with the second part of the news story. Hopefully you had a great day. Happy evening to all of you. Take care. Bye.